Hi, my name is Mike Ferry. Starting today, Tuesday, we're going to be producing a short little message for you each Tuesday and Thursday from this point forward. When we decided to make this message available to you, one of my staff said, "What is the purpose of all this, Mike? Why are you going to do it?" And I want to read to you what I wrote down for my staff. I said, our purpose is to provide sales tips, sales techniques, sales thoughts, to inspire, to train, to get you into more action starting today than you've been in the past. But then I wrote for myself the following: this program is not for the weak of heart. What I'm going to do each week is not for those of you that want to do 2 or 3 transactions a year. If you want to be an average agent, if you want to be normal, if you want to just make a living, this program is not for you. This program is for those people that really have the desire to long-term build a substantial business that you can rely on, that you can be productive with, and that you can profit with. The nice part about watching what I do today, this will allow some of you for the first time to actually see what I do. One of the advantages of being Mike Ferry, if there's an advantage to being Mike Ferry, is the fact that, over the course of the last 37 years, everybody has an opinion as to what Mike Ferry does, what he says, what he teaches. And now we're going to give each of you a first-hand look at Mike Ferry, what he says, what he does, and what he teaches. Because the truth is, all I try to bring to this business is 2 words: common sense. Common sense. I think probably most of you know, if you look at the real estate business very carefully, there's certainly not a lot of common sense being taught. In fact, if anything, I would say there's more uncommon sense than common sense. Let me give you an example of common sense. If you are shy, if you don't like talking to people, if you're somewhat of an introvert, this is a hard business, because we are in the people business. You have to talk to people all the time. So therefore, common sense says you have to either change your sales personality, you either have to find a way to overcome that little hang-up you have in the sales side of talking to people, or you probably are never going to sell more than a few homes a year. And of course, then I'll say things like this to you over the course of the next 6 months to a year. If you're only going to sell 2 or 3 homes a year, why not do it all in January? Take the rest of the year off. Why spread the pain and suffering of 3 or 4 or 5 sales over the course of 12 months? So yes, you're going to see what Mike Ferry is all about during the course of these little messages. You're going to see who Mike Ferry is, what my beliefs are, but more importantly, you're going to find out why virtually hundreds of thousands of the best agents in the last 30 years take the advice that I give, follow it, and make it work for them. So today I have 2 messages for you. I wrote down number 1, you have to understand the giant gap that has been created in real estate over the last 4 to 5 years. Now by gap I mean the following. For many, many years in real estate, we had a very, very defined business. About 20% of the agents were brand new. Some of you may be brand new. And you were learning, you were gaining momentum, you were trying to figure out this wonderful business called real estate sales. About 20% were doing a tremendous amount of business, which they've always done. And we had about 60% in the middle that made a good living, that were making, making whatever they needed to make their lives work financially. Well, today, because of this wonderful real estate recession we've been in since 2005, now most people think it started in 2008, which it did. It started in 2005 because, you see, common sense says in 2005 the inventory, number of homes for sale in the U.S. started growing dramatically. And as that started to happen, that always flattens out the price increases in property. Common sense. And whenever price increases in property start to stop, then the investors and some of the people that are holding on to real estate as investment decide to sell their properties, which then starts a decline in prices. So you can see that this real estate recession we've been involved in for a long time has created a very interesting gap, because when the prices started to flatten out and sales started to flatten out and sales started to decline, 06, 07, 08, 09, a lot of people that were in real estate left the business. And when they leave the business, new people came in. But a lot of people, and maybe you're one of them, came in one of the toughest markets in history, which you came into. One of the toughest markets in history. Interest rates were unstable, the banking industry was unstable, economic times unstable, everything was unstable. Well, as a result of that, the failure factor in real estate increased dramatically. Where, let's say, 10 years ago, the average agent could last 12, 18 months trying to figure out the business. Now, 3 to 6 months, you're in and out if you're not making money in this business. Well, the gap I'm referring to is that today, here we are, on Tuesday, today, in 2012, the number of people selling a lot of homes is the largest it's ever been, and the number of people not selling homes is the largest it's ever been. And the gap between these two groups is the widest it's ever been. So I wrote down a question, okay? Which group do you belong to? The group doing a lot? Now let me define a lot. A lot is 25 or more closed transactions. Being a superstar is 50 or more closed transactions. Being great is 75 or more closed transactions. So which group do you belong to? Are you in the left side, people not doing much of anything, trying to figure this thing out, trying to figure out a way to do business without working, or you're the right side, which is the people that are growing and learning and motivated, enthused and determined and disciplined to make this job of selling real estate an actual job, because that's what it is. Or do you belong to the group that really is doing a lot? But then I wrote down a second question, which group do you want to be in? Now let's be honest. Let's say there's 10,000 of you watching this message today and tomorrow, till the new message comes out on Thursday. Let's say there's 10,000. There's a good chance the majority of you that are watching are in the group on the left side, not doing as much as you want, and maybe not understanding how to make that change. If you want to know how to make that change, you watch these recordings every Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to tell you specifically what to do to get from the left side to the right side to become part of the group selling a lot. But the other side of that is maybe you don't want to. Maybe you're comfortable doing 3 or 4 or 5 sales a year. Maybe you're comfortable making 15, 20, 25,000 bucks a year. And that's fine. You know, these messages will still work. But my message for 37 years has always been one thing. I'm here to help the people that want to become superstars become superstars. I'm not here to help the people that want to do 3 or 4 deals a year. You can do that all by yourself. So the first message for today is, how do we get you to close that gap between what you are doing and what you want to do? Because that's the key. Close the gap between where you are and where you want to go. Close the gap between those of you that are doing a handful of deals a year and those that are doing 25, 45, 75, 100 transactions a year. We close that gap. The second half of this year, 2012, is going to be exciting, very profitable, and very productive. But the second message that I want to give you today really will help you see that. I'm going to ask you between now and Thursday to look at a very simple thought. And here's the thought. Where is my existing business coming from? Where's my existing business coming from? And today, it's almost somewhat up in the air. The people that are producing a lot on the right side of the gap, they can tell you, I'm getting business from past clients, from centers of influence, I'm getting a certain percentage from buyers and expireds, I'm getting a lot of business from referrals, from agents and my present client base, I'm getting business from just listed, just sold, by marketing around the transactions I have, etc., etc. And the people on the left side are saying, well, I'm holding open house a lot, I don't understand. You know, everybody says hold open house. Why aren't I getting more business? Well, because it has been proven that if you want to do 3 or 4 or 5 deals a year, open house is a wonderful technique. If you want to do 25 to 30, you have to do what I discussed a minute ago. So what I want you to do is this. Between now and Thursday, I want you to really look carefully at where your business is coming from. I want to share with you a very brief story, because I know we don't have much time on these recordings. Several months ago, I got an email from one of our clients, and the client said to me the following. Our company has several hundred agents. The owner took the top 10 agents to lunch. And we went to a nice restaurant, and we had a private dining room, and he asked each one of us to tell us what we do to get the business we get. Now, Mike, he said the sad part is the top 10 agents, number 10, had only done 9 deals in the first 9 months of the year. He said, I was number 1. I had done 91 deals in the first 9 months of the year. So number 10 stood up and he said, let me tell you what I do. I rely 100% on social media. I'm on Facebook every day, 3 or 4 hours. I'm Twittering, I'm tweeting, I'm blogging. I'm doing those. That's what I do. And he kind of smiled proudly. Well, you know, he had done 9 deals. The next guy had done 16. Next guy, had done 24. Got to number 1, one of our clients, 30 years old, said, I did 91 deals last year. And I know that you're not going to like this, but I simply follow what Mike Ferry teaches. He said, every day I follow a schedule. Every day I do a certain amount of prospecting. I do good solid lead follow-up. I pre-qualify my clients. I'm very strong in my professional presentation. I call on buy owners, expireds, past clients, centers of influence. And when he said this, number 10 jumped up and said, you're so out of touch with what's going on today, because you're not involved in social media and social marketing. You're so out of touch. And number one smiled and said, I may be out of touch with what you're doing, but you're out of touch with income. And I'd rather be in touch with income. I've done 91 deals following Mike Ferry, and you've done 9 following all the rest. Here's my thought for you. Do you want to be one of the best, or do you want to be one of the rest? Well, July of this year, 17 through 20, we're doing our 27th year of Superstar Retreats. I don't know if you've ever been to one, but I'm going to tell you something. If you want to be in a room with 4,000 to 5,000 of the most exciting, dynamic, productive agents in North America today, you'll want to attend our Superstar Retreat. Why don't you think about going online, picking up the phone, calling our office and saying, tell me what the retreat's all about. Maybe I should be there. Because the people on the right side of the gap will all be there. And I would love to have a chance to meet you and introduce you to all of them. It's going to be a great time, but whether you're there or not, let's make the balance of this year a great year for you. See you on Thursday.